morning and welcome to the program Issues and Society. It's indeed a pleasure to have you join us today. Issues and Society is a program that discusses trending issues as it affects our day-to-day living. I am Zainab Obitin. As the conversation continues on the road to 2023 February presidential general election, with me on the program today is a visionary woman, a woman with a lot of passion for our country, Nigeria. She's here to share with us why Nigerians should come out en masse come 2023 February election to vote her principal officer as the next president of Nigeria. This is someone whom she trusts, someone who she believes could bring a change to our country, Nigeria. She is the Deputy Director, Public Affairs, and also the Deputy Director, Spokesperson for the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Let's meet Barrister Hannatu Musawa. Join us again after the break.
And so in line with our special TV focus, of course, on the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, with us is one of its dynamic yet energetic personality in the person of Barrister Hannatu Musawa. Of course, she is the presidential campaign spokesperson for the North APC. Madam, it's indeed a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what's the mandate of your office as the spokesperson not for the APC Presidential Campaign Council?
Well, again, thank you very much. Yes, my office, apart from the fact that I'm the Deputy Director of Public Affairs, I'm also the Deputy Spokesperson. So that mandates me with the responsibility of speaking on behalf of my principal and my party and educating Nigerians on the programs that we want to present to them in the hope that they will support our principal, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, to be elected as the next president and vice president of Nigeria in the 2023 elections.
Now, having said that, what are those unique features that makes you feel that you guys will win the election?
Every single bone in my body tells me that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima are coasting to victory. I think of all the candidates, those two, the duo of the two, are the ones that have the vision, the character, the clout, the courage, the sincerity of purpose to give Nigerians the programs that is required to fix the defects within our society, and they have the ability to carry it through. Both of these men in the past have proven that they can do it. As the governor of Lagos, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu brought the kind of innovation that Nigeria never thought that they would see since independence. And as the chief executive of Borno State, Kashim Shettima was able to tackle a very difficult terrorist situation back then. Kashim Shettima was able to bring sanity to a society that was completely out of control. So I do think of all the candidates, once you dissect not only their past, them as human beings, and also you dissect the programs that they're presenting to Nigerians, I think they are in the best stead to give Nigeria the kind of leadership that it requires moving forward.
Now, as a woman in this dynamic field, what is the role of a woman in present-day politics?
Well, the role of women, for the most part, I think at the time being, is more representation. I think the more women that other women see in the system, it encourages women that there's a possibility that they too can be reflected within the system. But apart from that, in this particular campaign that we're running, even though Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is given a lot of power to women, we are not differentiated because he looks at us as an equal to men. So, and that's the way that he's treating us. He's bringing women that he feels have the ability and the capacity to represent women. Women are very important in society because once you empower a woman, you empower a whole community, you empower a whole society. It's the women essentially that are able to shape the mindset of children, and that is shaping the mindset of a whole generation. So it's very important to give women the power that they need, or the responsibility that requires them to represent other women. And the more of us in the forefront of this campaign, the more it encourages other women to play a part in trying to build a society that will work for all of us.
Now, for this forthcoming election, what are your biggest fears?
My biggest fears for this, there's a couple really. The first is, of course, is insecurity, but we hope, and I think we can see, and Nigerians could admit, that in the last couple, as of recent, the security agencies have been a lot more aggressive in sort of tackling these insecurity skirmishes and issues that have arisen all over the country. And hopefully by the time the election comes, there will be a lot of sanity enough that will give Nigerians the confidence and the ability to go out and feel free enough to go and exercise their mandate to speak and vote for their choices. And another fear of mine is, I know that there will be a credible process. I hope that all the parties and all the candidates will respect the wishes of Nigerians and go into this process by allowing Nigerians to make their choices. And if that happens, I hope that because obviously there's going to be one winner, right? So now you have a lot of other candidates. One of my greatest fears is people now picking holes and saying, oh, the election was rigged. And it's a fear of mine, because we want, hopefully coming into the new administration, we want to carry all Nigerians along. We want to have a very unified society that will allow for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima to be able to enact their programs. But then if you have some people feeling that there's disenfranchisement, then it's a lot more challenging for the two principals to be able to govern in the way that they want to. So like I said, this is like a fear of mine. And so I hope going forward, there will be a lot of pressure on INEC to make sure that the elections are free and fair and credible. And I think with a free, fair, credible election, I'm, as a person, completely confident that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not only coasting to victory, he's going to have a landslide victory in this coming elections. I'm very confident of that.
What happens if he loses the election? And the new government in power, probably gives you an appointment because of your zeal and your passion for the country. Will you want to work for any other party outside the APC?
Well, first and foremost, I hope he's not going to lose the election. I don't think he is. So, if I was to be a stubborn Fulani herdswoman, I probably wouldn't answer the next part of the question. However, I'm a Nigerian and a Democrat in that respect. I hope Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to win the election. I'm actually confident he is going to. In the event some miracle happens or whatever happens, it's still 4 months to go, anything can happen, and we don't win the election, we are all Nigerians. And just like I said, if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu wins, I would want people to support him. In the same respect, if Nigerians went to the polls today and decided that they wanted another candidate, it is my responsibility as a Nigerian to support that particular candidate. Whether I would accept a position under that government or not is left to be said. It would wholly depend on, the circumstances surrounding that. But whoever Nigerians elect, as a Nigerian and as a democratic Nigerian and as one that loves freedom and people's right to make their choice, we certainly will support, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself and Kashim Shettima will support whoever Nigerians decide to elect. But we hope and are confident it's going to be Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima.
Now, before now, it's always been a two-horse race, the PDP and the APC. But now you have the third force, the Labour Party. Tell me, Hannatu, who amongst the PDP and the Labour Party is your biggest threat?
Is the PDP. To be honestly, the Labour Party, the good thing with the emergence of this movement from the Labour Party, and even with the NNPP, and not just that, some other fringe parties, you have people like Shawari, they're also making, they're gaining ground as well. The good thing with that is that it's opened up the conversation. It's made the whole process a lot more colorful. And this is really good for democracy, for building and empowering and giving us a strong democratic process. So it's a good thing. And at the same time, it's sort of encouraged people, young people and people that sort of don't really care about getting involved with the process. It's sort of encouraged them to get on board. So that's a good thing. But I think if we want to be very realistic, looking at the system of governance and the fact that there's a constitutional requirement for geographical spread in election. I think in that respect, I think and I would make bold to say that there's a constitutional impossibility at this point for Labour Party to win this election because of that constitutional requirement of a geographical spread. As you would know, Section 134 of the Constitution says that no less than 1/4 of at least 2/3 of the country, and then the person has to win, and then you have to also get the simple majority. Now, there's a lot of momentum about Labour Party online, but on the ground, that is not translating in a large part of the country. If you come to the northern part of the country, there's no conversation about Peter Obi, and that is the stark reality. I've seen some polls in the past that have given Peter Obi an advantage, and evidently those polls have not been able to really make a proper methodological assessment on ground. This race is between APC and PDP, and with what is happening in PDP at the moment, every time the PDP is unraveling is working in our favor. And may I also say, the emergence of Labour Party and the momentum that has followed him has actually worked to the advantage of the APC, because most of the people that are supporting the stronghold now of the PDP of the Labour Party, they're traditional APC states. So what has happened is Labour Party, a vote for Labour Party is going to effectively be almost a vote for the APC. That's the truth. The southeastern states are traditionally PDP. So Labour Party is taken away from PDP. And in the areas, maybe in the northern, in maybe a lot of the constituency that was affected by the pick of the Muslim tickets, again, especially within the northern sphere, again, is not too much traditionally APC strongholds. So still, if Labour Party gains from this, it's taken away from PDP. And then look at the situation in Kano. We now know that a stronghold like Kano may be divided now into three: NNPP, PDP, and APC. Recently, Senator Shekaro, who was part of NNPP, left and went to PDP. But that works to the advantage of APC again, because in Kano, which is a very, very important constituency, I think one of the top two that every politician wants to get because of the numbers. And so by breaking NNPP up, and NNPP is extremely strong in Kano, and we have to admit that, by breaking that up, it works, it breaks that dichotomy, or not that dichotomy, that monopoly that NNPP may have had. Labour Party is good for us, but it doesn't have, it's not resonating in the northern part of the country. And I would be shocked if Labour Party gets any state or any significant amount of votes in the north. You cannot see it on ground. You go to most parts of the north and you even say the name Peter Obi, they don't know who you're talking about, seriously.
Now, going by your analysis, now Lagos is one state that is more like a continent.
Yeah.
You have a whole lot of ethnic settlements in Lagos State. Now we say, okay, give it to His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now you take away Lagos State and you look at the north. How is the acceptability of your candidates in the north? When you look at Atiku himself, who is one of you want to call him the son of the soil.
Yeah.
So how do you marry a southerner in the north and a core northerner in the north? What's the play?
You know, for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I keep on saying, you know, if there's anyone within the political landscape now, forget about the present election, from anywhere in Nigeria, that from the southern part of Nigeria, that will have acceptability in the north, it is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even before this election. I'll tell you why. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one of the biggest supporters of the north, and he has been for the last very many decades. He supported, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu supported Shehu Eradua in his stint into politics. In 2007, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave the north a platform. He gave Atiku Abubakar a platform to run. In 2011, he gave Mala Nuhuru Bado a platform to run. In 2015, but for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we wouldn't have a Buhari administration. So the North looks at him as a friend of the North. And even put politics aside, you know, I think it's maybe because of the character of the man, a very philanthropic man. For many years, everything that has happened in the North, a death, a marriage, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu always goes. There's a flood, there's a market fire. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the one that will donate the most amount of money. Second to Bua, I think there's nobody else that donates the kind of philanthropic donations that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done in the north. He's the one who fixed Ariwa House, even before his stint into politics. So, you know, he has been able to build a sort of people in the north. He has been able to get a lot of leverage from the kind of philanthropy that he has done in the north. He knows people in the north. If somebody dies, he's the one that's gonna look after the children, pay for the school fees. He does this in his personal capacity, notwithstanding politics. So now the north feels that it is time to pay him back. So it's very easy for us on the ground to go and speak to the people about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because they know him. They know him as Jagaba. You know, Jagaba was a title that was given to him by the Emir of Borgu. And Jagaba in Hausa means to move forward. So already when you go to the most rural parts of the north and you say Tinubu, or you say, they say, oh, Jagaba, you know, it's almost like they have claimed him as one of their own. And then look at even the people around him. He gave his Ibrahim Masari, for us in Katsina, you know, he was the one who gave Muhammad Buhari the platform to be able to win an election. And he honored us by now giving Ibrahim Masari, you know, trusted us enough to give us that particular, you call it placeholder now, but well, he was the vice presidential candidate. Then, apart from that, he's now paired up with Kashim Shettima. Out of all the northern governors of recent within this Fourth Republic, Kashim Shettima is looked at as one of those that has been the most performing. Kashim Shettima, when he was in Borno, you know, Kashim Shettima is one of the most approachable people that you can go to. Even as a governor, he's helped people. He's been able to reach out to the Christian communities. He is a man that is utterly loved by the northern community. So, you know, for us, Asiwaju is our own. Granted, Atiku Abubakar is a northerner. Granted, you have Alhaji Engineer Kwankwaso, who's also a northerner. But honestly, I don't think any of them have been able to build the kind of human capacity that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been able to in the north, and together with Kashim Shettima. So for us, it's a very, very easy sell. For us to go and say Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, if you go to the villages now, you know, that broken chain is everywhere. You can't even stop them. So and that's why I said I hope I'll be able to sit down with you after the election so that you can say to me, Barrister Hannatu Musawa, you are right. The North, we will deliver to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu the votes that maybe even the Southwest will not be able to deliver to their own son.
Now, the Afenifere group, recently are divided over the issue of who supports what and who supports that. Now, what is the current situation? How have you guys been able to, cement that crack on the wall within the Afenifere?
I think from the last communication, the Afenifere is supporting. Of course, you have two leaders.
Exactly.
Okay, so everybody has their own opinion. But from the last communication that we've had, Afenifere is supporting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And put the leaders aside, I have no doubt that the Southwest is going to show up for APC. I have no doubt in my mind that Afenifere is going to stand up, because apart from the fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Yoruba man from the Southwest, for us, we're not even running on that. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Nigerian. He's a nationalist, he's a Democrat. He is someone that would be, he's the best of all the candidates. I've been able to interrogate the past and even the manifestos of all the candidates, notwithstanding the fact that Labour Party doesn't have a manifesto, but I think they don't have a manifesto, but we have the opportunity to interrogate the leaders there and the sort of vision that they have. And I think Afenifere, in the interest of Nigeria, all the members that follow Afenifere would be inclined to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But from the last communication we've had is that the Afenifere is supporting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and ABC, and I've not heard anything to the contrary after that.
Barrister Hannatu Musawa, tell us a bit about yourself. When you're not doing politics, when you're not putting up those fights for.
Is it a fight? I think it's I'm just a lawyer. I'm a practicing lawyer, and I'm an artist. People don't know that much. I'm an artist. I enjoy doing art, portraits. You can see one of the pieces of my daughter up there. I'm the one who did it. So I do that, and I write. I'm a writer as well, an author, and I'm a columnist. I think some people know me from being a columnist. I've been a columnist since 2004, together with my best friend of blessed memory, Sam and Isaiah Leadership newspaper, who, encouraged me to my foray into the world of writing. So I'm a writer, and at the same time, born into a political family. My dad is a veteran northern politician. Malam Aminu Kano was my godfather, so I grew up watching the two of them, my father in PRP, part of NEPU, that progressive. So I've been a troublemaker since for quite a while now. Politics is really part of my DNA. So it gives me pleasure to be able to put all these areas of my expertise, the legal, the art, the writing, and the politics, in order to support a man that I truly believe will make a difference in Nigeria. And I really do believe that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will really make a difference in Nigeria.
Now, in 2 seconds, speak to Nigerians on their support for your candidate.
I speak to Nigerians. I stand here before you to ask you to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima to emerge as the president and vice president of Nigeria in 2023 election. These are two men that, like I said, have the vision, the courage, the capacity, the sincerity of purpose, the clout to be able to deliver Nigeria, to be able to identify the main issues bedeviling Nigeria and to prefer solutions for them. You look at their manifesto. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what he has done in Lagos and what Kashim Shettima has done in Adamawa, in Borno State, I believe will bring a new resurgence into the Nigerian country. I think with the leadership of both Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, Nigeria will be in place to be one of the main, to take our place in the global, in the global array of nations. So please support our two candidates.
Well, so much so you've heard it all from Barrister Hannatu. A vote for APC, a vote for
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for progress, for unity of purpose, for vision, for clarity, for clout, for courage, and for the resurgence of Nigeria as one great nation, as the greatest African nation in the world.
Well, I want to say a very big thank you to you for having me that time for this interview. I also wish your candidates the very best.
And I hope to see you a day after the elections, or maybe I'll talk to you 11:49 p.m. on the day of elections. Okay.
One out of these so many secretaries that we have in the Federal Capital Territory that is, set to ensure that it manages the transport sector of the entire territory, not just the city, to ensure that commuters and commuting, of course, goes in a way that the government will wish to have it.
Welcome back. This is a much we can take today on issues in society. Should you miss today's broadcast, you can join the conversation on our social media platform. I am Zainab Obitin. See you next week.